If you want to get out from, like, if you want to break through, if you want to go from this level to that level, you can't be like, okay, I'm just gonna dip my toes in the water. I'm just gonna try it. I'm just gonna see it. I'm just gonna play around. I'm just gonna do. That's typical. That's average, man.
What's the journey, man? What's the journey? How can you replicate it? How can you apply some of those principles and ideas?
The number one thing that I can sincerely say that absolutely changed everything, I worked on myself first, period.
So here's the formula. Learn something new, and then do it and implement it.
Against all odds, right? Against, everything, they persevered.
I didn't have to be that smart guy that's gonna go out and create all this tech stuff.
I had found all of these other hidden loopholes within the eBay system, like alternative ways to make money on eBay.
And they did it in this industry. They did it in online marketing. All right, hey everybody, welcome back. Welcome to The Journey, episode number 7. My name is Vick Strizheus, and I'm the creator of this awesome show that I do every single week for all of us here, all the entrepreneurs, the 4% group members. It's great to be back with you guys again here for another week. Every Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern time, like clockwork, we are together. We're talking about nuggets, right? We're talking about ideas. We're talking about things that move the needle for us entrepreneurs. And I'm very, very excited to present to you guys somebody who is a very, very, very talented, very special entrepreneur here that we're going to be talking about business with. And he is somebody who is he's seen it all. He knows what it's like to be at the bottom of the bottom. He knows what it's like to be at the top, right? And so he is somebody who is a very good friend, somebody who I've known for quite a few years now. And I watched him literally go from being somebody who was a good level entrepreneur to somebody who's become an extraordinary and somebody who is currently an 8-figure a year income earner. And this is none other, you guys, than Mr. Chris Record. Mr. Chris, welcome to the show, brother.
Thanks, glad to be here.
Awesome, man. It's a privilege and a pleasure to be hanging out with you here today, Chris, on The Journey. Thanks for coming on. I know you've been traveling. You're crazy busy. You're actually looks like you're in a hotel room right now.
Yeah, I'm in Las Vegas right now, wrapping up a vacation. I just came from San Diego, California, spent a few days there. Tomorrow I go to Arizona for a few days, and then I'm off to Canada. My first time ever to Canada, so I'm in that travel mode right now. It's pretty fun.
So is that pleasure travel? Is that business travel? Is that a little bit of both?
Well, Vic, when you love what you do, it's all business and pleasure.
Love it, man. Love it. Love it. Well, Chris, look, I appreciate your time. I know you're super busy. I invited you to get on the journey. You said, dude, I'm all in. I'd like to contribute to people watching this. So we're going to be respectful of your time here. At the same time, brother, I know that you have just an insane, crazy story that can be super beneficial to a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of marketers, affiliate marketers, network marketers. Before we get into that story, give us a snapshot of who's Chris Record today. What you got going on?
Today, my main focus is I launched Tecademics, and I'm the CEO and founder. Tecademics is obviously a vision of a structured educational resource for entrepreneurs around the world to be able to teach people how to make money online, how to build structured businesses, how to be able to legitimately structure themselves to be successful. Not all these fly-by-night opportunities that come by, or not all of these just product launch after product launch. Just something structured where they can come in and go from A to Z. So I saw that the school system was very structured, but it lacked any education on how to make money and really how to do stuff online. And I saw the seminars had all this great information, but it was very unstructured. So I came up with a dream and a passion to launch Techademics. And where I'm at now is, I'm the CEO, so I'm the head of the company. I've got an amazing business partner, Jim Piccolo, that runs the company with me. And we are growing like crazy. Tens of thousands of new members every single week from all around the world and every single continent. People are making money. People are getting real results. So where I'm at right now is traveling the world, empowering people and teaching them and giving them belief that they can launch their own business online because there's tools and resources available now that have never been available before, and we're just out there changing lives.
Yeah. And Techademics is one of the companies that we obviously strongly endorse here with the 4% group. actually have custom funnels built out for you guys as company. We totally resonate with the vision, and I think what you guys are doing there is phenomenal for the entrepreneurship world. Not only just online entrepreneurs, but entrepreneurship in general. I mean, you guys are teaching financial from anything from marketing, right, to business development, to eventually financial literacy, and hopefully beyond. That's incredible.
Yep.
You guys had a pre-launch. I've heard, was that a multi-million-dollar pre-launch alone?
Yeah, well over $5 million inside of 3 months as our pre-launch, and that was when there really was nothing official and nothing corporate. Just the buzz of the concept. People said, wow, I've never seen anything like this even done before, even pursued before. So what we do is, in our pre-launch, we really created that buzz, but now we're officially launched, and people are starting to get training. They're starting to experience our products, and they're just saying that this is a mind-blowing opportunity. So it's amazing to see a dream come into reality. But it was a lot of hard work behind the scenes. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of sleepless nights. There's a lot of mistakes and failures along the way. It's the entrepreneur journey. It's the journey. And the good news is I love the journey. I embrace the journey. And every single day I feel blessed and proud to be able to wake up and to be able to go to bat creating the world's best company for entrepreneurs.
Love it, love it. Chris, I'd like to I want to talk to you a little bit more about Techademics and what you guys do there in a little bit more details a little bit later on. I know you've done it all. You've done affiliate marketing. You've done online, offline. You've done physical, T-shirts, sales. You did a bunch of different things. Let's dive into your story, if you will, right? Because there's two groups of people watching this. There's guys like us, right, who are already doing something. They're already players in the industry. So I want to dig into some ideas, because anybody who's generating 8 figures a year income, that's 10 million above. In a year, there is a bunch of ideas that even the pro entrepreneurs can get from, right? But there is also another group of people who will be watching this. They're just getting started. They're promoting as an affiliate. They're just, they're aspiring entrepreneurs. They don't necessarily have that big success, taste of that big success yet. We all start, from almost all of us start from the same place, which is, no list, no contacts. Most of us start out broke, right? And dude, on top of that, some of us have, tremendous, just life challenges on top of business challenges, right? Take me back. How long have you been an online entrepreneur for?
I got started online with my business when I was 21 years old. And so we're talking a decade and a half that I've been online, although it seems unrealistic to do it that long, but it's been different phases. I started out doing website design. So what happened was, and I wasn't even a good website designer, I started out doing website design, and I would go door to door to door to businesses and ask them, said, hey, instead of spending $5,000 with some big website design firm, what if I came in and designed your website for $300? And if you didn't like it, I'd be glad to give you the $300 back. And that was my pitch. It was like, use the small guy, give me a chance to be able to do it for $300. If you don't like it, you could always go pay the big people. And that worked. It made me a few sales here and there, enough to get by. Eventually that turned into search engine optimization, because all of those businesses wanted to learn how to get their website listed in Google. Right. So I went and I self-taught, learned how to be able to rank websites in Google, and then I went back to them and said, okay, a few $100s more, and I'll rank your websites in Google. And then that kept evolving. The next phase was, one of my clients made hundreds of thousands of dollars, I think over $1 million, from one of my listings that I ranked for them. Then I realized I only got paid $1,000. They made $1 million. Yeah. I should be the one that's making the $1 million. So then what I did was I started building my own websites and ranking all my own businesses. And then I started stumbling across something called affiliate marketing. I became an affiliate for Amazon.com and made my first $100,000 online as an affiliate for Amazon. And then I made another $100,000 as an affiliate for Google. Google had a program called Google AdSense, where you could place Google ads on your site and they would pay you. So then I made my first 6 figures online by figuring out how to do it myself. And from there it was a journey. I just kind of went on this whole long entrepreneurship journey. There's lots of ups and downs. I made 6 figures, then I lost 6 figures. Then I made 6 figures, then I lost 6 figures. And when I decided to rebuild myself a handful of years ago, it was in social media. Social media was new, and that was what was exciting. So I decided to reinvent myself and learn social media, and I saw it as a huge trend, so I got in front of it, and that's really where I started to have this explosion of getting known. Because before, nobody knew who I was. I was just a little guy working on his laptop. But with social media, you can start to get yourself out there and start to brand yourself. So Vic, it's just been this journey of ups and downs and ups and downs, starting from when I was 21 to now I'm 38 years old. And in the process, I've learned a little bit about a lot. And I've really became very diversified in my internet marketing knowledge.
So look, what you just shared over the last 30, 45 seconds here is something I can just spend 3 days dissecting. Started out, went to, started out in design, went to SEO, affiliate for, Amazon affiliate for Google, and hundreds of thousands of dollars there, hundreds of thousands of dollars there. Dude, let's dig into this thing, right? So give me your background. Were you this tech savvy guy prior to internet marketing? What's your background? What did you do before starting your design gig in the beginning?
Yeah, so to really give you an idea of how I became that entrepreneur,
right,
you've got to understand that it came from my parents, right? We're a product of our environment, right? Where we grew up in, our friends, our family and stuff. My parents were divorced, and my mom was on welfare, Section 8 housing, food stamps, government assistance, very, very poor. We lived in a very impoverished area. Everybody else there was raised by single moms, and they were all poor. So that was the experience that I got from her. I learned that a job was not going to work. I learned that, I got to figure out a way to make enough money, not only for me, but for my mom as well. So my mom's side is where I got that entrepreneurship drive, the dream, the hustle. I saw what the struggle was like before I ever really even went through it myself. That's my mom's side, and I'm very grateful for that. My dad's side was my dad was a teacher at a college, and he ended up becoming a computer programmer, and he got a job as a computer programmer working for a company in town. So when I was very young, he would bring me in to work with him, and he'd sit me in front of a computer, and I would just sit there and play computer games. And there were these old school games where you would type on the computer and play them.
Right.
And I was just a little kid, and I was just enthusiastic about this idea of computers. And then one summer, my dad put me into like a little summer school program where I learned how to type. So from a young age, I had a dream to be an entrepreneur, and I knew that I wanted to do it with computers. So I was, let's just say that I got my motivation by growing up in the Silicon Valley, out in the Bay Area of Northern California, and I would watch these people start technology companies and become multimillionaires. So I knew I had to do something online, it had to do something with technology, and I had to be an entrepreneur because I knew a traditional job wasn't going to work. And Vic, you also got to understand that because I was raised in a very poor environment with very poor friends, I also was a bit of a misfit young kid. You know how entrepreneurs break the rules? Well, in real life, I was that young kid that would also break the rules, and I did not do well in school. And so I only actually made it, I graduated the 9th grade of high school, but I never did another day of school after that. And I've never been back. I never got any sort of degree, diploma, anything like that. Just 9th grade graduation, that's it. So I'm very self-taught, learned from the school of hard knocks, and I learned from rolling up my sleeves and getting out in the real world and selling to businesses and going on the computer and researching this stuff myself. So I'm very grateful to my parents for accidentally creating an environment that sort of blossomed a young entrepreneur that knew he had to do something with technology and how to be an entrepreneur, because that's why I'm where I am today.
So you're pretty much self-taught. I mean, you didn't necessarily go to college or anything to learn all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm self-taught. I would, I'll tell you a short fun story, is I would have to catch the bus. Okay, I couldn't afford a computer, because you got to keep in mind, I'm very, very broke. I couldn't afford a computer. So what I would do is I would catch the bus downtown and go to the public library. And I would wait in line for about half an hour to use a computer, and then you only get to use it for 30 minutes, and then you got to go wait in the back of the line again. And the computer had very limited things you could do on it. You could just browse the internet. So in 30-minute increments, I would learn, I would self-teach myself something, and then I would go wait in line, and I'm at the library, so I would read books like The Greatest Salesman in the World, or Think and Grow Rich, or How to Win Friends and Influence People. I was reading these while I was in line waiting to use the computer, and then I would use the computer, and I would research and study. And then somebody came along one day and said, hey, you should be using the computers at the junior college, because you can use them all day and nobody will interrupt you. And I said, well, I'm not a student. They said, they don't even check. So true story. I would catch 2 buses all the way across town, go to the junior college, and I would sit in front of the computers at the public library at the junior college for about 10 hours at a time, teaching myself website design, search engine optimization, blogging, teaching myself how to make money online, researching. I was self-taught, never even enrolled at the school, never even enrolled once. So it's crazy when you say, are you self-taught? Yes, I was self-taught, but the information didn't even exist back then. It was so hard to find it. Now you can open up your computer and in 5 minutes you can find everything you need to know to make money online. It's so much easier. I'm like one of those guys that said I had to walk uphill both ways in snow to learn internet marketing. But that's kind of how it felt. But it's a cool story. I'm glad I did it.
So The Greatest Salesman, the books that you read, was that information helpful to you in getting your first clients for that design gig?
Yeah, it was.
Or were you like this born, natural born salesman?
I think I was born. We're all born. We all kind of gravitate into a personality type.
Yeah.
People are either outgoing or they're reserved. Well, I tended to be more outgoing, which I think can be helpful to sales. I think if you look in general, being outgoing is a beneficial, helpful thing. And then the second thing was I more of a task person or was I more of a people person? I was right in the middle. So the task side got me more like spending the hours behind the computer figuring out how I want to do it. The people side got me okay and comfortable with talking with people. So I used my outgoing natural personality type to my advantage, and then I studied books to learn what to say. I read a book that taught how to mirror and match. And I would literally sit there and get in conversations with people at a coffee shop, and I would do nothing. I don't even know what we talked about. I would just mirror and match them. If they put their right hand forward, I would put my right hand forward. If they leaned in, I would lean in. If they leaned back, I would lean back. And I would start modeling after their body language, and then I would start repeating back what they said to me, and then I would start finding things in common and building rapport. These are all things that I learned in books at the library. So were those books helpful? Absolutely. And, we all have a little bit of natural charisma inside of us. I just had to exercise it and bring it out. And don't think that I was an instant success. In order for me to land one business to buy a $300 website for me, I would get shot down by, my ratio was about 1 in 30. So I would have to pitch about 29 different businesses, small businesses, on a website design package in order to get one of them to accept, and I only made $300. So it was incredibly difficult. It was not smart financially. I was so broke that all I would do is I would save up $1 so I could go to the coffee shop and get a fast cup of coffee because that would curb my appetite the whole day. And then at the end of the day, I would go home and eat 2 to 3 packages of top ramen for 10 cents each. So I'd be about 30 cents. And all that whole entire day, I'd be at about $1.50 in food and about another $1 in bus fare or $1.50 in bus fare. So I'm living on like $3 a day because it was so much volume to try to get a single sale. But that was just the beginning. That was the hard part. Eventually I started making more money, and eventually it kind of started getting easier as I went.
So Chris, dude, this is incredible. A lot of people look at like Chris Record or anybody who's really successful right now, and they're like, dude, you got lucky or you got that, not realizing, where all this stuff kind of stems from. So I want to dig into the marketing a little bit here. As far as currently, what are you guys doing? What's working for you guys? That kind of stuff. Take me back through. I know you did a lot of affiliate marketing, right? And I know a lot of people watching this, they are interested in affiliate marketing. And affiliate marketing is essentially, you're watching this, is where you promote somebody else's product that you don't necessarily have to create. And it's one of the easiest things that anybody can do if they do it properly, right? There is a proper way of doing things and an improper way of doing things. And Chris, I know you did a ton of that. Walk me through here's what I want to know, man. What was your first breakthrough when you got your first money selling design gigs, right? And then you got into the SEO packages. Were you just working from the house? Did you have employees at this time, at this phase, or what was your business looking like at that phase?
Okay, sure. So when I started making just a little bit of money, literally like $5,000 in a month online, enough, not a little, it was a decent amount. That was enough that I said, whoa, this is real, okay? So I got to a point where I said, okay, I figured it out enough that this is real. So what I did was I paused everything, and I said, I have my hands on something that could be big, and I don't want to neglect this. So I went to my best friend, George, and I said, I'm moving out of this city. I'm getting away from all my old friends. I'm getting away from all these haters and all these people that make fun of me in this environment. I'm getting out of it. I'm going to move probably at least a few hours away, close enough I could visit family, but far enough away that I could just go focus on this business that's working. And I made an invitation. I said, George, you can come out with me. If you want, I'll teach you everything I know. We can make money together. So what ended up happening is it's crazy. He quit his job, and he didn't even know how to do any internet marketing. And we moved 3 hours away. And what we did was our business consisted of me and George working on our own separate websites all day from our living room in an apartment. Now what we did was we got these little like reclining massage chairs, and we bought a projector and we put it up on the wall because we didn't have any furniture, and we just watched movies all day. We'd go rent movies. Back in the day, we would rent them. We'd rent movies all day, and we would work for like 12 to 15 hours on our computers, only getting up for bathroom and food breaks. And that's it. Sometimes 18, sometimes 20 hours, because we had figured out a system that the more websites we built, the more links we built, the more we ranked these things, the more money we made. So in essence, the more time we invested, the more money that we got in ROI. And you know what? It seems silly to just be trading time for money, but at least we were in control of our business, and it felt good to be working for ourselves. So that was how I scaled my business up to making my first 6 figures. Was I literally would fall asleep at my computer. I ditched all my social life, ditched everything, and said, I'm going to crank down, I'm going to make this thing work. And eventually it just got so big. Even my friend George was making $5,000 a month. I had months as high as $20,000 because I just didn't do anything else. I just want to learn how to crack the code. And so we had no employees, no outsourcers. I didn't know how to get any help. I had no idea how any of that worked. All we had was computers and just a knowledge of how to copy and paste and move things around and build these sites and just keep going. It was a lot of work, 15-hour days. But the result was freedom. We felt free. Even though we were working, we felt free. Now, eventually, I knew it was time to scale my business, and a guy came along who offered to buy it from me. So what I did was I made a very gutsy move. I decided to sell my business and all the websites and everything to somebody else for 6 figures. Now, I sold it all, and now I'm sitting high. And what I wanted to do, and the reason I did this, was because real estate was exploding. I was watching people make millions of dollars in real estate, and I said, I'm going to be the next real estate millionaire. Unfortunately, I got involved right when the market was crashing. So Vic, I hate to say it, but I had made 6 figures and sold my business, and then immediately turned around and lost all of my money. All of it. We're talking everything that I had trying to make it work. I even tried becoming a loan officer and tried opening up a little loan business, and I tried everything I could, and I lost it all. After having made 6 figures, I got so broke that I had a negative bank account, a 485 credit score. I had borrowed money from a few friends that I couldn't even afford to pay back, and I was getting evicted from the apartment because I was back 2 months on rent. I was in the worst place I had ever been in my life, rock bottom, when the year before I had made 6 figures because of a couple things, Vic. Number one, I was not good at money management. Number two, I hadn't even paid taxes on the money. I'd spent it, never even paid taxes on it, so I had that problem. Number three, I didn't know when to call it quits. My business was failing, but I just kept going, ruined my credit, borrowed money, did everything I could to try to save it, but it was just tanking. And you know the real estate market crushed everybody. Yeah. And I found myself in the worst position ever. And believe it or not, this was the summer of 2006. Believe it or not, at that moment, I was ready to give up on being an entrepreneur. For the first time in my life, I said, this is way too crazy of a roller coaster ride. I'm going to move back in with family, see if I can sleep on my dad's couch. I'm going to get a job, and I'm going to just work my way up to like a $60,000 per year salary and be happy. And that was and I don't know if you want to share what happened next, but that was one of the lowest points in my life and my career, and that can happen. I mean, I'm sharing it because it happened to me. It's real. And I bet you there's some people watching right now that's happened to them, that they've hit rock bottom. And I know exactly how it feels. It feels impossible to even recover. It feels like you've gone so far that even if you had an amazing month, it wouldn't even make a dent. And that's how it felt at that point for me in my life.
So, all right, what's your next phase? How did you bounce back? This is very interesting to me, and you know, as you're saying your story here, I immediately have a flashback to my story. how similar, right? You build it up, you're doing great, and then boom, something happens and you crash. And it seems like a movie, but dude, it's reality. You guys are watching this. It's a reality for everybody. Here's what I want to know, Chris. How did you bounce back, and what kept you moving forward? Why didn't you go to work at a job? Why did you continue to on your entrepreneur journey?
Yeah, it's fascinating, and that's the best word for it. Journey. That's what this is. This is the entrepreneur journey. Can be a roller coaster, but I'm fascinated by it. And there's a part of me that loves it. It's like a love-hate relationship with that roller coaster, but I love it. It feels like I'm pursuing something great, while at the same time, there's a chance that I could lose it all. But it's thrilling. It's a thrilling ride. So what I did was my friend George called me. And here I was, ready to get evicted, ready to quit entrepreneurship. My friend George called me and said, Chris, I think I found a way out for us. And I said, what's that? He says, there's a sales opportunity. There's a company that we can join, and you've got to pay to be able to join it. You've got to be participate in a program, but they have a high ticket item to sell. It's $20,000, and they pay $10,000 in commissions. So you literally can sell this. You have to own it. So first things first, I had to buy the product. I had to come up with $20,000, and then I would have the opportunity. It's like buying a license, like buying a franchise in a way. And then I would have the opportunity to be able to go out there and sell it. And it was a phenomenal product, the best product I've seen anywhere. So in that moment of destitute, ready to move in with family and ready to get all this eviction, I said, you know what, let's make it happen. Now, I didn't have money. It was $20,000. I didn't have money. Here's what I did. I went to the guy running the meeting, and I said, I'm going to be your number one guy in the company. He goes, I hear that from everybody. I said, no, I will be your number one guy. And I said, you don't need to hear it from me. Here's what I want to do. I don't have the money to get started, but I'm going to act as if I already got started. For the next 2 weeks, I'm going to invite more people to these weekly meetings. I'm going to have so many people wanting to join this opportunity in the next 2 weeks. I'm going to be your number one star. And all I ask is that if I do that, if I prove it to you, that you find somebody in your network that would be willing to loan me the money to get started. Okay? I'll pay them a nice interest and everything. But let me prove it to you first. And over the next 2 weeks, I did everything possible to literally drive attendance to all of their seminars and their sales presentations. And the average person was inviting 1 to 2 guests per week, and I was inviting 20 to 30 guests per week, twice per week.
Just hustling.
And in like 2 weeks, I had invited over 100 people in person. And out of those 100 people, about a dozen of them wanted to get started and wanted to buy the $16,000 and the $20,000 package. So I went to him and he said, Chris, job well done. Most people talk the talk, you walk it. He goes, I want to introduce you to a friend who will loan you the money to get started. That day changed my life. Okay? I didn't ask for a handout. I didn't ask for a hand-me-down. I said, let me prove it. And that person loaned me $20,000. And here's what happened next in my life. I invested that $20,000 in this company. What happened was, my very first month, I made $16,000 in commissions. My very next month, I made $24,000. Then $32,000. Then $40,000. Then the next month, I made $70,000. And then it kept going up. My 7th or 8th month in that business, I made $150,000 in commissions in a single month. See, this is what can happen when your back's against the wall. Sometimes you just got to roll up your sleeves and you got to get back up and you got to fight. You got to fight or flight, right? I chose to fight. I said, you know what? I'm going to take it head on. And what I did was I went out there and I sold my way out of the position I was in. I didn't let all of these obstacles didn't get me down. I'm not even telling you the worst of it. The week before I found that opportunity, I was in a car accident and I had whiplash. So that 2 weeks where I invited 100 people to the meetings, I was going to chiropractor every single day. I was sitting on a ball. I could only sit in front of my computer for 15 minutes at a time before my back was in too much pain. And I was in so much pain every single day that I was just trying to medicate myself any way that I could. It was the hardest time for me. We were being evicted from our house. Listen, it's not easy to sell and to perform when life is beating you up. But I just said, you know what? I'm going to fight back. And I went out there. And 8 months later, in a single month, I made more money than I had made in a single year. And that year right there, I bounced back from being so ready to give up to I made over $450,000 in commissions, over $1 million in sales in my first year with that company. Okay? That's so monumental because you got to understand, here I was ready to quit, and then I go out there and I do like 5 times better than before. And from there, the next couple of years, I kept selling, made over $1 million in commissions with that company, over $2.5 million in products sold, and figured out that money is just an idea. And from that moment forward, I've always been in a place where no matter how bad it got, I could always figure out a creative way to be able to sell myself out of a situation. I always knew that no matter how bad it feels, you're going to be able to fix it. And I don't know if there's anybody listening that needs to hear this message, but the message is this: action cures fear. And that's all I did. I rolled up my sleeves and I took massive action because action cures fear. I was afraid, so I was going to quit. And I was going to quit, which was going to make things even worse. Okay? Because now I'm a failure and I got to live with it. So instead, rolled up my sleeves and decided that action is going to cure this thing. And you know what? If you believe in yourself enough and you take action, it absolutely can.
Love it, man. Love it. Dude, you're inspiring some people here, man. People in the chat here, we got over 400 people live watching this as we're recording this. And obviously, there's going to be probably hundreds of thousands of people watching this recorded in the community. Chris, here's what people want to know. Dude, how did you get those 100 people, 200 people to these meetings? Was this like online marketing you did? Did you do SEO? Did you go door to door? What was your hustle like?
Okay, so you have to get the context of it. The context was, I was injured, so I was very limited at that time, and I was broke, so I couldn't really pay for things like advertising, but I was ambitious, but also the year was 2006, okay, summer 2006. There wasn't Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, or if these things were out, they weren't popular. Maybe it was out, but it was in colleges, or it wasn't popular. These things were not mainstream. The only mainstream thing back then was MySpace, okay, which wasn't that effective of a tool. So what I did was I said, I got to work from my computer from home, but I got to do anything I can, okay? So here's what I said. No matter what I do on a day-to-day basis, if I come within 3 feet of somebody, I'm going to tell them about my opportunity because I could care less about rejection right now. I need to change my life. So I did something called the 3-foot rule. If I met anybody, the very first thing I would say is, because this was a real estate investing product, it was education to learn how to be a real estate investor. So right off the bat, I would ask people, hey, let me ask you a question. Do you have any interest to learn how to be a real estate investor and how to be able to create wealth in real estate investing? And they would say, sure. I would say, there's a doctor in town who's a successful investor. He has a meeting this Thursday, and he said I can invite a few friends. If you'd like, I can get you to come for free. You can learn a little bit about what people are doing here locally to invest in real estate. If you're interested, I can save you a seat. So that would be called the 3-foot rule. Now, I didn't get out that much, but when I did, I would say that to everybody. I kid you not. It wouldn't even matter. If I went to a restaurant, I would say it to the person that welcomes you, the greeter. I would say it to them. Then I would say it to the waiter. Then I would say it to somebody at the bar. Then when I went to the bathroom, when I'm walking out of the bathroom, I'd stop somebody and say it to them. I didn't care. I was like that ambitious. Now,
so Chris, if I may interrupt you here for a sec here, here's the thing that naturally that comes to my mind is like what drove you? Was that you couldn't be sold on a product? You didn't own the product at this time, or did you own the product? Or were you just sold on a company, or were you just hustling just to get out of that situation that you were in? What was the why? What was the driver for that? It
was a combination of all. Okay, you have to be, so belief comes, you have to convince yourself of something in order to have belief. Okay, you're never going to sell well unless you truly believe in what you're selling.
Absolutely.
So I had to go through investigation first. There was about a week of investigation before I joined that company. So I had to investigate first. Then I started interviewing people. I started looking. I started seeing real results. I saw that it was a real thing. People loved it, and I got myself to the point. Okay, I'm convinced I can sell this. Then it became number 1, Chris, help yourself first. Sell to empower yourself, and then number 2, now go out there and start empowering others. But you can't help other people if you are on the verge of giving up and quitting yourself. So I got my belief, and then I used my conviction to go out there and sell. And then once I started getting results, I made it all about the people and all about the community. And when I say I was going out and doing the 3-foot rule, some people might be going, well, that's a dumb strategy because you can buy traffic online. Well, here's why it's not. Here's why it's not a dumb strategy. Because the number 1 skill you can learn in life is the art of persuasion. Okay? If you want to date somebody and you feel like, oh my, I would love to go on a date with them. Well, guess what the blocker is? You need to persuade them to go on a date with you. The way you met your spouse, the way that the real estate, the way you got your job, the way you bought your house, everything you could think of, it's persuasion. You're constantly persuading people. And if you become a master persuader, then you can really create a lifestyle. You can create things around you. So you should never limit your persuasion to something as simple as, I just want to do the easiest, simplest thing out there to make money. No, you should challenge yourself to level up and become better every single day. So I challenge myself. I'm going to talk to anybody who comes in contact with me. Number one, because I'm going to get good at explaining this thing. If you're going to go online and write an email, you got to be so knowledgeable of that topic that you could literally share it to a best friend word for word with passion, because those words are going to come out onto that email that you write, or onto that sales letter that you write, or into that sales video that you write. You got to have passion. You got to have experience. So I told myself, I'm going to pitch this thing every single day to as many people as I possibly can, because I've got to compress time. In the next 2 weeks, I've got to get better than people that have been doing this for a year. And that's how I did it. I got real life experience. Now, Vic, it wasn't just word of mouth. Okay, I also went on and I did advertising on Craigslist. What I did on Craigslist was I went out there and I started placing as many ads as I could for free that were basically curiosity approach ads. I would get curiosity approach that if they were interested to leave me their contact information, and then I would call them. So I was hitting the phones too. I was at home injured, and I was making probably 100 phone calls a day, calling back people who requested information. So I was using Craigslist to be able to get people interested, and I was calling them back, and I wrote a script. I wrote my own script. Nobody provided me with a script. That's the other thing. Nobody provided me with any tools. I went to this doctor, and I said, okay, what are all your online sales tools? They said, just contact your friends and family. I'm like, yeah, right. I'm not going to do that. You know, my friends and family hate me because I borrowed money and I haven't paid them back yet.
Good luck.
So, you know, so what I did was I said, I'm going to write my own script. I'm going to place my own ads. I'm going to come up with my own way to present this. And I'm going to take more action than anybody's taken in this entire company. And that's what I did. And I also did another thing, which was we did roadside signs and flyers. So we would put like signs on the side of the road that would say, call here. You know, if you're interested in learning how to make money online, start your own online business, start a real estate business, all that kind of stuff. And then we'd also do flyers. Now, out of all of those, Craigslist was the actual best performer. Craigslist is where 90% of my business came from, but I was willing to do everything just in case. So Craigslist, people would come, I would call, and all I was doing was all my job was not to sell them or not to close them. I didn't even pitch them the business. I would just close them on attending an event for free. These days, it would be on attending a webinar. But I would just ask them, which works better, this Tuesday or this Thursday? I'm going to put you down on the guest list. Now listen, it's a very limited guest list, so I need to confirm. Can you for sure be there? You have to let me know, because otherwise you're taking up somebody else's seat. There's limited seats.
Lock him down. Lock him down.
Lock it down, double, triple confirm. Then I would say, now, when you get there, put down Chris Record as the person who referred to you, because I've got a gift for you. Just for coming, I'm going to give you a report that I researched on the #1 way to be able to start making money in wholesaling right now. It's something you can immediately start doing right now to start making money in real estate. So I need to be able to find you. So at the end of the meeting, look for me, and I'll give you this report. And Vic, I got it down to a system, okay? This is how I went from rock bottom to almost $500,000. I got it to a system. Craigslist ads, responses came in, I'd book them, I'd confirm them, they'd come to the meeting. At the meeting, I would write down all the people, or I'd try to identify them. At the end of the meeting, I would have them get in line to find me, and I'd give them their packet, and then I would book a follow-up meeting with them the next day in that hotel. I'd say, come back tomorrow, what time works for you? And I'd book a follow-up meeting. In the follow-up meeting, I'd answer some more questions for them, and then I would get them to the next big event. At the next big event, they would see the big picture, like a conference, and then they would all want to buy the $20,000 package. So people weren't forking out. I was not selling. All I was doing was I was inviting and leading. So I wasn't ever saying, buy this, buy this, buy this. I was just leading them to their own decision to buy something that was worth it. And that's how I made $500,000 in commissions there in that first year. Was I was a master inviter, and I was good at following up and leading people to a decision to join. Now, if I was in a top tier, if I was an affiliate today of a top tier opportunity, something of a $10,000 or $20,000 price point or whatever it is, I would do this every single day. I would be inviting as many people as possible, using every resource I can to attend webinars, to attend events, even to attend videos like this. I would be getting them as much information as possible, and I would follow up with them and lead them to a point where I had hundreds of people at any given moment ready to join. And what would happen is they're going to start falling like dominoes. The first person joins. Boom, you make a commission. Maybe it's a $5,000 commission. The next person joins. You make another $5,000 commission. Then they start joining and joining. And once about 5 or 6 dominoes fall, they just start going and going and going. That's called a pipeline.
Yep.
You build up a pipeline. You get people pre-qualified. You get them excited. And once it's big enough and ripe enough and people are in there and they're matured on the information, they're going to start buying. And it's going to become a buying frenzy. And you're going to watch, if you haven't already seen, as people explode their income. Where all of a sudden you're like, how did that person just make $250,000? How did that person just get $1 million bonus in a company? How is that even possible? They're doing what we're doing now. They might have their own little twist. They might be buying their traffic or using a different lead system, but they're basically taking massive action to get as many people through that system to fill the pipeline, ripen and mature all of those people with product information and follow-up to the point where they all start just coming down like dominoes and popping like popcorn. Pop, 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 pop. And next thing you know, your income starts jumping.
Yeah.
When your income jumps, your confidence jumps. When your confidence jumps, now your follow-up is just sharp as ever, and everybody just goes, wow, and they're going to start saying, you know why I joined? Because of you. The reason I joined was because of you. I just love your energy. I love your passion. I love your enthusiasm. That comes from you leveling up and doing everything it takes, and that income is going to make you feel so confident, so knowledgeable, that you're going to dominate. You're going to learn how to dominate your industry. You're going to learn how to dominate affiliate marketing, network marketing, internet marketing, sales, any profession. You have the skill. You acquire the skill. You can be number one no matter where you went in the world, in any company, because it's all a skill that you don't even realize you're acquiring the whole time.
Yep. Yeah, it's something called momentum, right? It's like locomotive. You get it, you need a lot of force to get it going. Once you get it going, dude, that thing just gains speed like nothing can stop it. All right, so what happened next, man? You're running this company. You're making your hundreds of thousands of dollars. Life is good. What happened? How did you get into the affiliate marketing as we know it? In our circles here, promoting other people's products.
Got it. Yeah. So that opportunity lasted a few years. Eventually, the real estate market completely tanked. The year was 2009.
Yep.
There was just nothing else you could do. It wasn't just the real estate market. The economy had collapsed.
So nobody wanted to buy a real estate course anymore.
Yeah, well, everybody's credit cards were getting slashed. Even if you had perfect credit, Vic. Let's say you had an 800 credit score. You had credit cards with $30,000 limits just sitting there. Even those people, their banks were cutting those limits down to like $5,000 on them because the economy was falling apart and everybody was getting scared. So, and people were going through foreclosure. It was just bad.
Yeah.
So I decided to hang up that industry, and I said, I gotta reinvent myself. Now, here's the thing. While the economy was tanking like this, I saw another industry that was going like this, skyrocketing. That industry was social media. While the economy was tanking, sites like Facebook were exploding. Sites like YouTube were exploding. Twitter was exploding. There was explosive growth because it was free for people to be able to join these sites. And so these networks were exploding during this bad economy. People were laid off. What were they doing? They were on social media all day. So what I said was I recognized a new trend. So in 2009, 2010, I decided to reinvent myself again, this time go back to the internet world, technology world, but do it in social media. But I also decided to do it very, very different. Very, very different. You guys ready for this one? I decided to become, instead of an entrepreneur, which is risky, there's a roller coaster, I have to use my own money, right? It's scary. I decided to be an intrapreneur. An intrapreneur, which is you're like an entrepreneur inside of somebody else's company. What I did, you guys are going to think I'm crazy, but I went and got a job in the business and in the industry that I wanted to get in. I wanted to get into internet marketing and social media. So guess what I did? I went and got a job as the chief internet officer and the director of social media for a publicly traded company. I went and took a position, a job, okay, with benefits and everything. Now, the job allowed me to be able to work from home and then work out of the boss's house, but it was an on-the-job learning experience. And you guys might think this is just crazy. The guy made $500,000 a couple years earlier, and now he's just taking a job for $9,000 a month. Yes, here's why. Because when you learn skills, these skills are in demand. Everybody out there wants to hire you. And an intrapreneur, I got to learn all about running a real business, running a business with a business plan, running a business that could potentially be purchased. I got to watch them raise capital for the company. I got to meet with clients. We developed PowerPoint presentations, sales decks, just things on a high level that was preparing me to be able to do something bigger. And I wasn't using my own money. I was getting paid to do it. Okay, I was just using my time. Now, during that time, I also did that because I was in the children phase. I was previously married, and we had decided to have our first child. So we had our first child and then our second child. So I was a stay-at-home father, husband, dad, stay-at-home, working a job about 80 hours per week for this company as an entrepreneur. Now, during that time frame, I stumbled across an opportunity to join a direct sales company. This direct sales company had a blogging platform, and it had a range of products ranging from $25 up to like $3,000. And I decided to join that company part-time in an hour a day. This was my first shot to see how well does this intrapreneur thing work. I've been working for a few years for a company. How well does it work? What if I go ahead and now try to be an entrepreneur? Let me see what happens when I put in 1 hour per day. Watch how this worked. 1 hour per day in this direct sales company, and in about a 1.5 year time frame, or whatever, the 2-year time frame, whatever, I made nearly $500,000 in commissions in an hour a day, part-time, when I never quit my job. I never even quit my job. I stayed working my job 80 hours a week, still was a father of children, and on 1 hour per day, about 5 days per week, I built a side income that generated $500,000 in commissions. That was when I realized the power of being an intrapreneur. People think that they gotta like burn all their bridges and just go out there and be an entrepreneur. You know what? I went and got a job and still was an entrepreneur on the side. And it worked. This intrapreneur process taught me things about myself that I didn't know were possible. It taught me how to be productive in an hour, more productive than I'd ever been. So it was like going back to school for me. Now, when the time came, I finally quit that business and I decided to get into the real world of business and doing it myself. And then I just had these skill sets I'd never had before. So I started scaling. I had my first, $1 million year, okay, shortly after that. Then I had my first $1 million month. Then my first $2 million month, my first $3 million month. I started scaling my business and then scaled my business up to over $10 million in a single year. Now, my next goal is $10 million in a single month. And you might go, well, hold on. A minute ago, you were just talking about social media and being an entrepreneur. How did you just get to $10 million a month? It's because that experience of working for an actual company, building out, working for them as a job, the experience of somebody else being my boss, experience of having to report to somebody else, taught me the missing skills. I was an entrepreneur, but I was always missing all these skills over here, right? It taught me the skills. So now when I went back to do this again, oh man, I went and I just annihilated it.
Yeah.
I started with affiliate marketing, product launches, direct sales, e-commerce, and everything I touched. I realized that I now had a business mindset about it, not just some young, immature entrepreneur trying to make money. And Vic, that's what's led me to where I am today. That now I could be the CEO and founder of a company because I had previously worked directly for the CEO and founder. I knew what they had to do on a day-to-day basis. I knew the sacrifice. I knew the long hours. I knew what their position entailed. I worked directly for a CEO before I became a CEO. And I think that's one of the smartest decisions I've ever made because look at the results. Massive and rapid scaling ability.
Yeah. Incredible stuff, Chris. So again, so many directions we can go from this, from what you just shared here. Give me some practicals. What were you doing in that hour when you were promoting that company? I think I know what company you're talking about. We were both a part of it. We both crushed it. What were you doing? What were your income-producing activities there with that 1 hour? Because a lot of people watching this are like, okay, man, 1 hour. I mean, my goodness. People like surfing Facebook for hours and hours a day, and then complaining why they don't see the results. What were your income-producing activities? What were you focusing on? How did you drive traffic? How did you sell? Did you do personal selling? Did you have a system that sold it for you? What was it like?
Okay, so totally. So to understand this, you got to understand something called time compression. How to compress time. So the easiest way to do this as an exercise for yourself is this. Take any activity at all that you do on a day-to-day basis. Take even something you did today. Take any activity. And in hindsight, look back. And let's say you spent an hour doing it. Look back and say, what was the actual most important 5 minutes or 10 minutes of that hour? If I only had that same 5 or 10 minutes, if I just took that little chunk out of the one thing I did for that 5 or 10 minutes, how effective was that? And it's called the 80-20 rule. You spend a whole hour, but 5 minutes of that hour, you're getting 80 or 90% of the stuff you need to get done. Well, what are you doing the other hour? Well, we don't know how to compress time. So let me give you an example. Let's say I want to go on Facebook, and I want to scroll through the Facebook newsfeed to see what's happening with my friends in the world. Okay, I want to see what's Vic up to. You know, what's my friend Justin up to? Oh, what's this girl up to? What's my father up to? Oh, look at somebody's kids' pictures and stuff like that. I'm scrolling through. Well, before you know it, an entire hour has passed. But you feel effective because you've been reading posts, maybe you watched a motivational video, and then maybe you stumbled across something that was very, very powerful. The question is, could you, if you only had 5 minutes, could you have accomplished what you were looking to accomplish in 5 minutes? Yes, you could have. You would have just needed to know a better way to do it. Instead of spending an hour on Facebook scrolling the newsfeed, I would spend 5 minutes on newsfeed getting what I wanted to get done. Here's another example. Instead of an hour reading a book, you can read a book for 5 minutes and then set it down. I know it sounds crazy, but in 5 minutes you can get a lot from the book. In 10 minutes you could probably get so much from the book, you never even need to read it again, and you could tell someone what it's all about. Learn how to compress time. It might take 8 hours to read an entire book. If you take 15 minutes, you can probably get the gist of it. That's how you can compress 8 hours into 15 minutes. So you have to understand time compression. Now, when you understand time compression, you also have to understand something called stacking. Stacking is where you do more than one thing at the same time, but it's not multitasking. Multitasking is where you're running 2 primary activities at the same exact time that conflict with each other. That's why it's miraculous when somebody can be a multitasker. The word multitasking came because computers can do it. Computers can take 2 primary tasks and do them at the same time. People really cannot. So an example of multitasking is wrong. An example of multitasking, and I'm going to make an obvious example of something you can't do. But let's say driving a car while reading a book, okay? The primary activity of driving you need to do is pay attention to the road. You can't do that if you're also paying attention to words. So you can't read a book and drive at the same time. It's not smart. But you can drive a car while listening to an audiobook at the same time. So now you're stacking activities. So when I said that I worked an hour a day, it was an hour a day of primary activities, and then the rest of the day I would stack activities. So I wasn't taking any extra time. An example is this. Let's say I want to listen to an audiobook. I'm going to listen to an audiobook in the background while I'm doing something else that's a primary activity. So the audiobook becomes a secondary activity. And I'm going to stack as many things as I can to compress time. Let's say that I want to get a workout. I'm going to get a workout in, but let's say I also want to get a tan. I want to get some sun. I'm going to work out outside. Let's say I want to get a workout in and sun, and I want to listen to an audiobook. I can now do all 3 of those. So you see, now you can start to figure out ways to be able to stack activities where you can start doing multiple things at the same time. When you understand time compression and you understand stacking activities, there's only one thing left to understand, and you'll be able to spend 1 hour per day more effective than somebody who works all day, works their butt off. And the third thing is this: income producing activities. You have to figure out what activities can you do in 1 hour per day that actually produce income in your business. Because what we do is we're busy all day long doing activities that don't necessarily make us money, such as scrolling through the Facebook newsfeed, or even watching a webinar, or reading a book, or any number of activities. There's so many. They're not bad activities. You have to learn how to stack those activities. You have to stack them. What you need to learn how to do is focus on income-producing activities. Let me give you an example. When I was in that company, it was an online marketing company, right? So I learned these 3 things was what I would do. Create traffic, capture leads, and convert sales. Create traffic, capture leads, and convert sales. I cracked the code on this company. Vic, you cracked the code on this company. I learned a lot of it from you. Okay, here's what it is. This company had a sales page. They gave me an affiliate link. All I had to do was drive traffic to this sales page, and a certain amount of people would buy the product, and I would get paid. So I learned that it became a numbers game. So to create sales, I knew the best way to do this was to email my list and give them persuasive reasons to buy that offer. Okay, So the sales was already set up by a company. So I had to build a list, right? Now, in order to build a list, I needed traffic sources. I needed to know where to go get good traffic of people that wanted to subscribe to my email list. Traffic to subscribe to leads, leads to convert to sales. Traffic, leads, sales. So see, I sat there and I realized, here's the system. Make sure I've got my checkout page in order. Make sure I've got my lead capture page in order. Have a system in place. And then all I do is I just focus on feeding that pipeline with traffic. So what I did was I made a huge list of ways to create traffic. I made a list, I called it 101 ways to create traffic. And I just started going through it. And as long as during that hour per day, I was creating traffic, capturing leads, and converting sales, then it counted. If I was reading a book, it didn't count. If I was watching a webinar, it didn't count. If I was on a sales call, it didn't count. No, I mean, if I was on a training call, it didn't count. The only thing that counted, am I driving traffic right now? If not, I am wasting time. I'm taking time away from my kids. I'm taking time away from my job. I'm taking time away from my passions and my hobbies. To do what? Not make money? What a waste. So I boiled it all down. I created a system for the sales and the leads. So all I need to do is traffic. And Vic, you want to know what I did in that hour per day? I generated traffic. Me and my friends had a joke. They said, that when I'd introduce myself, I'd say, hey, my name's Chris. I'm a traffic director. They go, what do you mean? I direct traffic on the internet. I direct it to this funnel. That's all I did. I directed it on social media sites. I directed it, I looked at everywhere. I was buying advertising. I was going on Facebook. I was going on YouTube. I was making videos. Everything would have a call to action. Everything was driving traffic to the funnel. I drove millions of visits through this funnel. Search engine optimization, social media marketing, viral video marketing, YouTube marketing. I would even use Facebook Messenger and chat with people just to drive them to the funnel. Because Vic, when you want something bad enough, you're going to do whatever it takes, period. And I simplified the process where there was a system in place. All I did was I plugged in that system. So all I had to do was drive traffic to it, and it spit money out on the other side. From there, the rest was history.
Love it, man. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Dude, you inspire a lot of people here. People love your story. People love the nuggets. Somebody says the nugget, the nugget. This little, I missed man, I missed the comment. They said it's such an elegantly. The nugget meter is off the charts, is what they said.
Nugget meter.
The nugget meter is off the chart. Chris, so you're driving traffic, you're capturing the leads, you're building your list. You're sending people through the system. Did you use the company-given system? Did you have your own little, system, your own wrapper on top of, how were you doing this? Because we always preach about, you want to capture leads. You want to have something that's, what's going to make you stand out, right? There are 200,000 affiliates. How do you stand out from the crowd? What were you doing?
I think at the end of the day, more than the amount of money you make, I like to call it leveling up. So I never really was about the money I was making. It was more about me learning how to level up. So did I use the company system? Sure. I wanted to level up and learn how to use that system. I figured, let me figure out how to use the company system. Now, there was also a team system. Separate from the company, there was a team system. I also used the team system. So not only was I using a company system to figure out that one, I was also using a team system. Then I also created my own system. So you're saying, which one did I do? I did all of them. Because listen, at the end of the day, it wasn't like, oh, which one works best. It didn't matter to me. At the end of the day, I was a long-term thinker. I want to acquire skills. It's not about making $100,000 this year. It's about acquiring the skills and the knowledge to never struggle financially in life, right? People get caught up with the short-term thinking, which is just like, I just want to make money. If you focus on leveling yourself up and learning skills, you will never even think about money. Money will become just like oxygen to you. I mean, think about it. How many times throughout the day do you think about breathing? How many times a day do you think about making sure there's enough oxygen that you can breathe? But oxygen is the number one most vital thing to your survival, way more important than money. If you ask them, which would you rather have, money or oxygen? They don't think about oxygen. They take it for granted. Well, when you make enough money, it becomes like oxygen. Oxygen's all around you, so you no longer think about it. Get to the point where money's all around you, so you no longer think about it, right? So I never really had a goal to make X amount of money. I always had a goal to gain X amount of skills. So I would learn the company system. I would use a team system. I would build my own system. I would get a mentor, and then I would also experiment with my own ideas. I wanted to learn it all. And the reason I never got down on myself is because I understood it was a journey. Success is a journey, not a destination. Yeah. And I understood that every single day I'm going to better myself. I'm going to go back and I'm going to try to best myself. I'm going to be a better version of me than I was yesterday, last week, last month. And through that process of personal development and personal growth, it's like that to me is more monumental than money. And the good news is it comes with a lot more money too. You personally develop yourself to the point where money is just an idea. You're only ever one idea away from any amount of money, 10 million, 50 million, 100 million. You're just an idea away. It becomes nothing to you because the skills and the knowledge are the one thing. When you go on this roller coaster ride and you go through that negative slump, which you will as an entrepreneur, your knowledge still stays with you. They could take away your money. They could take away your cars. The IRS could come in and seize your assets. But you know what they can't take away? Your knowledge, your wisdom. Focus on learning what and how, and focus on the why to get you there, and all the rest will fall into place. I promise you.
Exactly, man. Exactly. It's the whole idea of, somebody wants to get to 50,000 a month or 10,000 a month. Well, you got to become the person worthy of that kind of money, right? So what you were saying here is you were accumulating the skills that made you become worthy of pretty much any amount of money that you wanted to get. It's just like that oxygen. How much oxygen do you need? You just take what you need. It's always available. It's always there. Love it, dude. So I want to talk a little bit more about Tecademics. So right now, what it seems to me, and I know I flew out when I did my due diligence on what you guys were putting together there for Tecademics. Of course, this is a company that we highly endorse. It's one of the companies in our portfolio, one of the main companies in our portfolio here with the 4% group that we have built marketing systems for and marketing funnels, and things are just exploding right now. Definitely looking forward to seeing what you guys are rolling out next. When I did my due diligence, so it seemed to me like all the skills, and you basically took your entire journey for the last, decade. And what worked for you, you wanted to deliver it to people, to entrepreneurs, but in a better way, a more structured way that anybody can learn. So what's really cool to me, and I want you to expand on it a little bit if you would, is, you mentioned about being entrepreneur, right? Being entrepreneur, being intrapreneur. So somebody can acquire a skill, a social media, somebody wants to become an expert about social media and go to, a local company or an online company, and they wanted to become a social media consultant. So, well, now they have a place to go and acquire that skill, to get the knowledge and apply it in the real world to get the result, right? So expand on that a little bit, but you guys go beyond that. Such as with Shopify and all these other things that's available to people. Talk a little bit about what you guys are doing with Techademics, and really why did you create Techademics, and what's your vision for the company, what you guys are doing right now?
Yeah, so in this process of me scaling up my business, I generated, I designed and launched my own products. We did millions of dollars in sales, tens of thousands of customers. So in that process, I started really listening to the people, listening to what they wanted. And there's two things that everybody really wanted. One is they want education. They want to learn how to be successful. They want to learn, how do you launch a product? How do you promote an affiliate offer? How do you become successful? How do you start your own business? How do you everything? They want to learn. So part of it is they want to learn. The other thing is they want to make money. Okay, they want some way that they can start making money immediately. So I recognize these two things. They want to earn and they want to learn. So what I did was I said, I'm going to create a company that offers an educational experience that is structured, that will teach people the foundations on how to really become successful online. That's what Techademics is. Techademics is an educational platform to be able to teach you everything that you need to know about making money online in one place. We'll teach you all the strategies, we'll teach you all the techniques, and we'll teach you at levels for beginners, intermediate, and advanced. So if you want to be a successful affiliate marketer, we'll teach you that. If you want to learn how to rank websites in Google, we'll teach you that. If you want to learn how to launch your own product, we'll teach you that as well. We'll teach you list building. We'll teach you copywriting. We'll teach you email marketing. All of that, almost like the way that a school is. All of that under one umbrella in one educational resource. Now at the same time, we want to give you an opportunity. We want to give you a way to be able to create income immediately. So what we did was he said, here's this amazing education that you can become an affiliate for, and you can offer to the public. So you can go out there and you can promote Techademics, and you can earn income while you learn how to be a successful internet marketer. Earn while you learn. So we let all of these people go out there and promote, and they can earn a commission every time somebody joins. Yep. So we have the best of both worlds. Education opportunity, And we have a platform for them to start making money. So what's cool about it is this. Look at the potential that this has for you as an affiliate. So you think about somebody right now that's working at, let's say, In-N-Out Burger. They're working out some fast food burger joint, right? They're maybe making minimum wage, something like that. You could take that same person and you could teach them some skills about social media marketing, maybe Facebook advertising. And after a couple of weeks of our classes, they've learned enough skills where they can go out there and they can apply for another type of job. Instead of working a fast food restaurant, they can apply for a job as the social media manager or the Facebook advertiser for a company. And instead of making minimum wage, they can apply for jobs that are paying $60,000 to $100,000 per year. So you could take somebody that's literally struggling and still living at home with their parents to suddenly having a career all inside of their first year with Tecademics. Something like that has really never been possible before. Now, we don't just teach people how to become employees. We also teach people how to become entrepreneurs and start their own business. We also teach people how to start up their own agency and go out there and get all of these companies to pay them a monthly fee to run services for them. And we even teach people how to be trainers and coaches and speakers and authors. Maybe you have the desire of wanting to be a public speaker. Maybe you want to launch your own product one day. We teach you all of that. So what Techademics does, it's the realization of a worthwhile dream, a sustainable, structured education that can teach you all the skills you need to make money online, and then we can give you a choice of your career path. Whether you want to go out there and get a job, be an entrepreneur, start your own agency, or whether you want to go out there and teach other people how to do what you've done. We give you all of that. Techademics is one place that you can literally come and have both your education to learn and your opportunity to earn. And together we can build the biggest, brightest, largest, most amazing community of entrepreneurs in the world, worldwide, where eventually just the community networking aspect alone becomes the #1 feature of Techademics. And I'm proud of it. I'm very, very blessed with the growth we've already had. I'm very, very, very thankful for the support from people like yourself, Vic, and others that are showing support for this vision. And I can promise you, we're putting in the time right now to make Techademics a leading opportunity and a household name as we pioneer and disrupt the industry by bringing together traditional education and seminar education like it's never been done before. And it's an opportunity people can take advantage of right now.
Love the vision, and that's why we're endorsing you guys. That's why we're actually building systems and trainings and promotional, systematic ways to sell your products and your services that you guys offer through the 4% group. And I think we're doing pretty good, huh?
You guys are doing great. Okay, now, Vic, speaking of Techademics,
yeah.
I got to jump out. I got people in the next room. We've got students in the next room right behind here that are making, we got someone right now we're about to interview that's doing like $40,000 to $50,000 a month in CPA marketing.
Right.
We got another student we're about to interview that just did over $100,000 last month with their own e-commerce store. And then we have another set of people we're going to interview for a Techademics Tech TV episode where they've done product launches and generated millions of dollars. That's all tonight still, and it's 7 p.m. right now. And I'm starting to lose my voice, Vic. So,
dude, I gotta let you go, Chris. I gotta let you go, man. I want you to talk about one more thing here. Okay, so you mentioned the opportunity to for people to be able to promote Techademics. Okay, so you guys have this crazy, unheard of compensation structure to where you're calling it matching millions. Okay, talk about that to somebody who might be watching this interview, and I want them to hear it from the horse's mouth, if you will.
Okay, so we know that people need a fire lit under their butt in order to take action, right? So here's what I did. I created a challenge. It's kind of like a weight loss challenge, but our product isn't weight loss, okay? Our product is internet marketing. So here's what I did. I created a challenge. I challenge you, and I'm going to make this challenge 3 years for you. You have 3 years to achieve these goals, and if you do, I'm going to reward you greatly. This is a challenge. Here it is. 3 years to do this. You have 3 years to earn $100,000 in commissions as an affiliate with Techademics. Okay, let me repeat that. You have 3 years to earn $100,000, your first 3 years, in commissions as an affiliate of Techademics. When you do that, Tecademics will give you a matching $100,000 bonus check. So as soon as you hit that $100,000 commission move, boom, it doubles. Get up to $100,000, boom, it doubles. You can do it in a month. You can do it in 6 months. You can do it in a year. In fact, Vick did it, I think, his first month. Okay? So some people are going to do it in a month. Some people are going to do it in a year. But even if it took you all the 3 years, your income just doubled. I mean, think about it. I don't know how much money you're making right now, but even let's say it took you 2 years to do this. That's $200,000 in 2 years. That ends up being $100,000 per year. That's pretty amazing. Now, it just gets started. We call it the Matching Millions Challenge because there's a second part. If you are really ambitious, and you might as well be, because you might as well go 10x and give it everything you've got. We've got a challenge where you have 3 years to make $1 million in commissions. $1 million in commissions. And when you do, we will give you a matching $1 million cash bonus. Seriously. So you've already earned the $100,000 cash bonus. Now you've earned the $1 million cash bonus. And there's several people that are already on their way and about to do it. So listen, this is crazy. 3 years. Do everything it takes to promote this opportunity and earn $1 million in commissions, and your income will double to $2 million. Okay? Now, let's imagine it takes you 2 full years to do that. If it took you 2 years to do that, that's $1 million per year over the next 2 years on average. So listen, just roll up your sleeves, figure out a way to make it happen. Lock onto leaders, lock onto different people, find people that are a little bit more successful than you, find affiliates who are making a little bit more money, model after them. Success leaves clues. We can afford to do it in our model because we pay 40% commissions. So think about it. Doubling that would double it up to 80% commissions. So we still can do this in our model. There's no financial strain on us whatsoever. And the reality is most people won't achieve it. No matter how much I try to motivate you, most people will not give up their Netflix. Most people will not, invest in the ads. Most people will not put in the work, but some of you will.
Yeah.
Okay? Some of you will. And those of you that do, I would love to give you a matching $100,000 bonus check and a matching $1 million bonus check. And I would love to interview you in the next room with your testimonial of how well the education has helped you make money.
Man, 4%ers will, man. These people are like, dude, we're 4%ers. What do you think of 4% group, brother?
I think you guys are a strong force. I think you guys have done a great job. Vic, I've known you for a long time. That story I told about making $500,000 in an hour a day working for a company, Vic was the #1 income earner in that company. So I learned a lot from Vic. You guys have good leadership at the helm there. I'm glad to have your support. At Techademics, we will continue to do everything that we can in our power to make sure you have a great product to promote in your portfolio. And of course, I'm a little biased. I'd love it to be your #1 product that you promote in your portfolio. So I'm going to go to work to make sure we're always the #1 offer 4% Club has.
Brother, I appreciate you. Thanks a lot for your time, Chris. Our people appreciate you here in the live studio. Audience, bro, take care of your voice there. It looks like you need some honey and lemon over there, man, some tea. So appreciate your time, Chris. You guys rocking and rolling. We're just getting started here with the 4%. Thank you for your time, Chris. Appreciate you, man.
Take care.
So you guys watching this right now, right? I want to talk to you for about 2 minutes here, right, before we wrap this up. Hopefully you've got a few nuggets, right, from this interview. This is incredible to say the least. Obviously, we couldn't cover everything that I wanted to cover because we could be here for 3 days just talking, nonstop about this kind of stuff. But here's the thing. What do you really want? You know what I'm saying? What do you really want? If you could have anything in life, what would that be? What would that anything be for you? You know what I'm saying? What are you willing to give up today to get what you want tomorrow? You know what I mean? What will you go through to ultimately achieve your goal? Maybe not even for yourself, but for your family. Is it worth it? Look, you are worth it, my friend. Right? You're watching this right now. Look, if you're, there's 2 groups of people watching this. If you guys are in a 4% group, look, this is, Chris's company, Techademics, is one of the companies in our portfolio. We have, incredible systems around it that do all the promotions of the products. We have incredible funnels, done for you funnels, building out more and more, on a consistent basis. It's going to be incredible. We already have 5 people at the time of shooting this video right now, obviously this episode, 5 people from the 4% that have claimed their $100,000 bonuses from Techademics. Incredible stuff. I want to have thousands. Okay, I want to have you, if that's what you want, to claim your $100,000 bonus and then reach that $1 million bonus. It's possible. Okay, say it with me right now. If you might be in the room, you might be watching this wherever, right? Say it like you mean it, like you committed to it. Say it's possible. You know what I mean? It's possible. Not for somebody else. Not for Chris, not for Vic, not for John or Jill or Mary. It's possible for you. Okay? And I would love to help you get that to become your reality. Okay? So if you are watching this and if you're not a member of the 4% group, I highly, highly invite you to check it out. This will be one of the best decisions you can make in your adult life, is to join the 4% group, because what we do is we inspire people to go above average, to rise above average, above mediocrity, and really help them become true entrepreneurs on the internet to where you can create your own future. I appreciate you. Hope you got a ton of value from it. Again, you can check out the 4% group. There should be a button or a link somewhere on this page. And I look forward to seeing you and meeting you one of these days in person. Appreciate you. God bless. See you next time. All right, so that was the call to action for the funnel. For those of you guys that are new here, you might not know what I just did there. So I just talked to the person who might be watching this as a funnel, okay? It's definitely possible. Yeah, absolutely. What do you guys think? Powerful stuff, huh? With Chris Record. How many of you guys here? Did not know Chris's story, like his full story? Let me take a look at your comments here. Chris was awesome. Yeah, he was. He's a great guy, huh? You see why we endorse Tecademics? Do you see why we go full out on creating these, the Tech Mastermind? And see, the way we promote is obviously through Tech Mastermind. Is one of many funnels. We'll have more and more funnels coming out just for Tecademics. Okay. Yep. Brilliant. Amen. Yeah. Ready to get started. Okay. Here's what I would highly encourage you guys to do. Okay. You're watching this right now. If you haven't they have an event coming up. This company is just launched out. Okay, they're a new company. They're launched out, but the concepts are proven. I've known Chris for years. We go back to another company that I was #1 income earner. He was also probably in the top 5 affiliates. Crushed it. Okay, absolutely crushed it. So the concept that he is putting into Techademics with his business partner Jim have been proven. The real estate company he was mentioning, right, that he mentioned in this interview, Jim was actually an owner of that company. They crushed it. So the concepts are proven, okay? And so right now they're taking what worked extremely well in the real estate world, and they're bringing it back into the online marketing space, which internet is not going anywhere. I mean, people are going to lose their jobs. Where do they think they're going to go? They're going to go online, right? As the economy shrinks, entrepreneurship is going to grow. Okay, so you want to position yourself, you want to acquire the skills that you need today, right, to get ready for this big, massive shift. Okay, like when the economy tanks, which probably will, the world is going to go on, man. The life is going to continue, but the gap between the poverty and wealth is going to be huge. Okay, the middle class is not going to exist. There's going to be people who did not get the skills, and they're going to be in poverty, okay? And then the people who will have the skills, they'll be able to serve and do things that these guys did not take the time to learn, okay? My wish for you is start working on your future today, my friends, okay? Start today. This is the best time for you to start. So Tecademics, they have an event coming up, November 19th, 20th, and 21st in Las Vegas, okay? If you did not get your ticket, okay, highly recommend you get your ticket. You'll get to see the whole thing being real. Everything that we do is immediately becomes real, when you get to an event. So highly encourage you guys get there. We're going to be rolling out specific packages from the 4% group around Tecademics. Okay, so there's going to be different, silver, gold, and diamond package with a whole bunch of different cool things on top of, their products. That are just exclusive to our group, the 4% group, and you guys will be hearing about those here over the next, week or two, as we launch them out. So, very, very cool stuff are coming up, you guys. Be awesome. You are in the right place. We have the most incredible people in this. We attract the most incredible people, and we are the 4%ers. Always remember that. I appreciate you guys. Love you. Be blessed, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya.